Good evening, I'm Harry Martin. Coming up next on the 10 o'clock news, a city salad bar sprayed with human waste, and police think that it wasn't the first time. How they caught their man. The lucky break that saved a woman's life at a subway station in the village, and an alligator under arrest. We'll show you how it happened.
Do you ever think about the Big Bang? You know, how it all started, like why we're here?
Yeah, like how everything came together so perfectly.
The Big Bang. It's not a theory. It's a sandwich, new from KFC. The Colonel's tender white meat filet, creamy Monterey Jack cheese, crispy bacon, fresh tomato, and peppery mayo sauce.
Makes you believe in a higher intelligence, huh?
Whoa. The new Big Bang Bacon Melt, original or tender roast. On this planet for a limited time only.
I'm going to see about a credit card.
Oh, but honey...
Rejected! Rejected?
You have no future!
But I just got a great job!
Run, little man! Run!
What kind of bank is this?
Take that! Honey, I already got us a Capital One card.
33 million people have chosen Capital One to help build their financial future.
What's in your wallet?
They say if you want to sell your product, get a cute little dog for your commercial.
Here, Buster. Fetch the 7-Up.
Oh, Buster's sleepy. Drink it when you wake up, little friend.
Human.
I made this.
It may be the beginning of life. It may be the end of the world.
Your work here is done.
It may be the one surprise no one is prepared for.
This isn't about the X-Files, Scully. It's only about you.
Get ready for the season's final 5 episodes, leading to the most shocking moment of all.
Push, Dana!
The X-Files, all new, starting 2 weeks from tonight on Fox.
This is a very exciting piece.
Really?
First off, 7. Very popular number. See how beautifully it shines? And notice the bonus. Do you have any idea what it could be worth?
Not a clue.
Well, I saw one in Oneonta bring $21,000.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. How much did you pay for this?
$2.
You have a very good eye.
Not really. There are hundreds of them down at the grocery.
Bonus 7's new from the New York Lottery. Over $31 million in prizes.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? This is the Fox 5 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Cynthia Santana.
And I'm Harry Martin. Governor Pataki is on his way to the Puerto Rican island of Vieques tonight. That's where the Navy has been conducting bombing exercises for years now, despite the objection of the people who live there. Patricia Wu has more on why the governor is going. She's at Newark Airport right now for us. Patricia.
Well, Harry, Governor Pataki says he has embraced this issue because it's the right thing to do, while others say he's just courting the Hispanic vote. Either way, he will be meeting with Navy officials tomorrow, touring the bombing range, and meeting with local residents, including school children. Nearly 10,000 people live on the tiny island of Vieques. They share their island home with a bombing range used by the U.S. Navy. Residents want the bombing to stop and have made their views heard in countless protests. Last month, the Bush administration called for a temporary suspension of the bombing. Governor Pataki hopes his visit and first-hand report to the White House will encourage the Bush administration to go even further.
It's important for us to make the case that the temporary suspension is only a first step, that the right decision is to be a permanent cessation, and to find an alternate site where you don't have 10,000 people living downwind from this bombardment.
Pataki and his delegation say the bombing has damaged the island's economy and the lives of its residents.
It's hard for kids to learn, to study, whenever the Navy is doing their maneuvers. Helicopters flying all over the schools.
Though the group left on a cold, gray day, their hopes for a new Vieques couldn't be brighter.
The people that are working with us now is a complete different group of people, different leadership, and we expect that they are going to help. It's going to be done, believe me. We are not going to give up.
We are very grateful that the governor has been very responsive and has been dealing with it with great persistence and interest.
Now, Governor Pataki is expected back either Tuesday night or Wednesday. He will then present a report to the White House. Reporting live from Newark Airport, Patricia Wu, Fox 5 News. Now back to you, Cynthia.
Patricia, thank you very much. Well, calls are getting louder for a member of New Jersey's highest court to resign, Justice Peter Venero. Last week, acting Governor Donald DeFrancesco asked him to quit because he may have made misleading statements on what he knew about racial profiling and when. Well, now minority police groups want him to step down.
It's high time that this person resign.
Black and Latino officers gathered to demand former New Jersey Attorney General Peter Venero leave his current post as state Supreme Court Justice. They say he knew about racial profiling for years and say he only admitted it in April of 1999, a year after a high-profile shooting where two white troopers shot a van full of young black men during a traffic stop on the New Jersey Turnpike. They want him out.
His lack of taking action and his misrepresentation of the facts is a clear indication that he cannot serve as an impartial justice.
The responsible thing for Justice Venero to do to resign and to further investigation to find out who else stood by and allowed racial profiling to exist.
With that, the officers got into their cars and formed a caravan to send a strong message that when they're not wearing uniforms, they too can be targeted by racial profiling. The officers formed a caravan driving through the Holland Tunnel into New Jersey. There they drove down the New Jersey Turnpike and met with their counterparts, Jersey officers who want Venero to resign and want racial profiling ended as well.
Law enforcement officers of color and of goodwill will not stand by and allow racial profiling to exist.
Justice Venero says he has no intention of resigning. Hearings into racial profiling continue tomorrow in Trenton. Several minority state troopers who have discrimination lawsuits pending are expected to testify. Harry?
Well, this story may gross you out. We don't mean to do that, but police have arrested a man who is suspected of spreading human waste at salad and food bars around the city. Mike Gilliam reports.
Customers still dine from the salad bar at the Alpine Gourmet Farm on 7th Avenue. But what happened Friday would turn your stomach. Cops say workers caught a man spraying what appears to be a mixture of feces and urine on the food.
Absolutely horrible.
Longtime customers are appalled.
You think that'll change you as far as like eating at salad bars in the future?
I don't even know if I want to eat this.
Deli workers grabbed the man, who was arrested and faces reckless endangerment, public urination, and other charges. He's identified as 34-year-old Marco Arellano, who is believed to be homeless. Now some tourists are complaining about salad bars in the area.
Big percentage of them smell like poop and pee. So we've been living out of Pop-Tarts in our motel room and pretzels and soda.
It makes you afraid to eat everywhere. Because how do you know that he's not doing it at other places?
He may have.
Cops think Arellano was busy dishing his dirt all over the area. In fact, workers here at the Krispy Kreme at Penn Station say someone came in and sprayed stuff all over these cases.
There are 3 Zorro bread bakeries in Penn Station, and manager May Rose says one of her stores was sprayed too.
I had my back turned, and I smell an odor, so I turned around real fast, and everybody kept jumping back from the counter, and I was saying, "What's that smell?" And I looked back, and then I saw this man look at me, like real fast, and walk out.
Rose said he headed to the subway and left behind a horrible odor. Cops say he's also suspected of attacks at Grand Central Terminal, where the counter at upscale Mike's Takeaway was doused with a cloudy, foul-smelling liquid. Police confiscated 2 bottles of liquid when they arrested Arellano. The health department is analyzing the liquid. Mike Gilliam, Fox 5 News.
A man from Las Vegas has been charged with pushing a woman onto the subway tracks. Police say 21-year-old Eric Chin shoved the woman at the 14th Street station in the West Village last night. Cops believe they were arguing. Luckily, there was no train coming. Well, the victim, 59-year-old Norma Alexis, was treated and released from St. Vincent's Hospital. A college freshman was found dead in his dorm room. Another student found 19-year-old Michael Zapotizny. He was a student at Rutgers University in New Brunswick. School officials think he died sometime between 8 o'clock last night and 1 this morning, but they're not sure why. He did have a medical condition. The school wouldn't release many details, though. His death is not considered suspicious.
Well, Cynthia, it was a holy day for Christians all over the world and here in New York. They were marking Palm Sunday. It begins the holiest week in the Christian calendar. That ends, of course, with Easter. Palm Sunday marks the day that Christ came into Jerusalem on a donkey and was greeted with palms. This is also a very holy time for Jews. It is the second night of Passover. Temple Emmanuel hosted a big traditional Seder dinner on the Upper East Side. Passover is an 8-day observance marking the Jews' deliverance from slavery in Egypt. Okay, everybody, break out your short sleeves. Good news.
I know, it's hard to believe from today, but we are in for a warm-up.
Hillary's here. She has her first on Fox forecast. Hillary.
And you know what? We really deserve a warm-up. It was really cold today, 44 degrees cold. And believe it or not, that's the normal high for the end of February. Let's take a look at where we should be. As I said, today was 44. The normal high, 59 degrees. So we've got a lot of catching up to do today, tomorrow, the next day, you name it. We do have some warming to do. Right now we're at 43 in White Plains, 42 in LaGuardia, 45 in Newark and Morristown, 45 also in New Haven. And we will warm things up for tomorrow. We'll bring you back some sunshine, and it's going to feel kind of springy out there. We'll have that springtime forecast coming up in just a bit. We're also going to talk about a little bit more rain. So back to you guys, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
All right, thanks a lot, Hillary. Well, still ahead, things didn't go quite as planned when diplomats tried to see the crew of that downed U.S. spy plane.
And then why some women in one town are being asked to go braless for the rest of the month.
And a popular clothing chain may be shutting the doors to some of its stores here in the Big Apple. We'll tell you which one when we come back.
Now, from Precision, the new generation of skincare from Chanel. Age Delay, the very first targeted treatment to prevent signs of premature aging. Correct, improving firmness. Rejuvenate. Skin looks and acts younger, achieving its youngest look possible. Age Delay, the name says it all. Hurry to the Chanel counter for your 2-minute precision skin diagnosis and a generous sample of Age Delay at Macy's.
Where fresh tastes better, hot and juicy, let's go together.
When people want delicious variety made fresh, they turn to Wendy's 99-cent super value menu.
It's there for you.
Let's have lunch at Wendy's.
Now Biggie size any Wendy's combo. You could win your choice of 3 exciting vacations at Universal Orlando Resort.
Is it too late to choose something else?
The Toyota 4Runner is famous for taking you places other 4-wheelers can't. And right now, Toyota is rolling back prices on every new 4Runner. As much as $1,500 on selected models. Plus, with some newly standard features, the 4Runner SR5 has never been a better value. So see your Toyota dealer now and get your next adventure rolling.
Hold it! Thanks.
21, please.
Like playing around with stuff? Well, at Best Buy, you can play around with anything you want. Actually, that's half the fun. Best Buy, go ahead, turn on the fun.
I drive naked.
Elaine's getting down and dirty.
Naked, naked, naked.
Next, Seinfeld.
Tonight at 11 on Fox 5.
The spy plane standoff with China is now into its second week, and there's no immediate end in sight. Despite China's demands, the Bush administration is still refusing to apologize for the crash. But the president is sending a letter to the widow of the missing Chinese pilot, expressing sadness over her loss. And we're learning U.S. diplomats were only allowed a limited meeting with 8 of the 24 crew members yesterday. And a 4th meeting that was scheduled for today never happened. The U.S. wants access to all of the crew members twice a day. According to Vice President Dick Cheney, intense and high-level diplomatic talks continue. The Vice President says the longer the crew is held, the worse it is for U.S.-Chinese relations.
That every day that goes by without having it resolved raises the risk to the long-term relationship.
The political disagreement we're having with the Chinese government has nothing to do with the crew. The crew should be released as soon as possible.
The Chinese have also called for an end to any U.S. surveillance flights over the country. The U.S. says those flights will continue.
President Bush is going to get specific about his $2 trillion budget. He's set to unveil a point-by-point detailed plan tomorrow. Now, many expect some deep spending cuts in that plan. Some of the steepest cuts could come from the Departments of Agriculture and also Transportation. Community policing programs and mental health programs are also expected to take a hit. And there are some spending increases included, mostly for education programs like building charter schools and helping states develop new reading programs. Peruvians went to the polls to elect a new president to replace disgraced President Alberto Fujimori. It looks like Alejandro Toledo, a U.S.-trained economist, got most of the votes, but it appears that he did not get a majority, so there is going to be a runoff, and he is going to likely face former President Alan Garcia. Mr. Garcia led Peru from 1985 until 1990.
Fire sent thousands of passengers scrambling at Amsterdam's airport. An explosion sent smoke billowing through the terminal. An overheated French fry maker touched off the blast at a Burger King in the airport's main shopping plaza. It's billed as the busiest Burger King in the world. A second small fire broke out on the second floor of an office building in the airport complex. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but more than 40 flights were delayed or canceled. 30 people are homeless after a powerful explosion at an apartment in Trenton, New Jersey. Investigators tell us the cause, a dangerous combination, a can of bug spray and a flame from an oven. A 38-year-old woman is in critical condition in the burn unit of St. Barnabas Medical Center. The explosion sent bricks flying and damaged 2 other buildings. People in the neighborhood couldn't believe how strong the blast was.
Man, it's scared to move my bed to the side. My pictures and everything fell off the walls.
All of a sudden, I went back upstairs to my apartment and I just felt the floor, everything vibrate.
The damage was so severe, the apartment will probably have to be demolished.
Contract talks are on again between Northwest Airlines and the Mechanics Union. This is the first time that representatives from Northwest and the mechanics have met since talks collapsed in March. After a meeting tonight, Northwest spokespeople say that they are hopeful an agreement is going to be worked out. The talks come just days before President Bush's emergency board will make recommendations to settle the dispute. The Mechanics Union represents 10,000 of Northwest mechanics and the custodians there. The sale of TWA to American Airlines is expected to be finalized tomorrow. American is paying $742 million for TWA. The purchase is going to make American the #1 airline in the United States. That was a title which was held by United.
Well, the union that represents workers in the Department of Transportation in Portland, Oregon, is making an unusual request of female workers. You see, the union is asking them to go braless to show support for a fellow female employee. Linda Allen has worked for the DOT for 13 years. She hasn't worn a bra, though, for the last 2, she says for health reasons. Well, that is until last month when her supervisor told her to go home and put one on.
Humiliated, mortified, embarrassed. I cried all the way home. I mean, it was horrible.
We want to send a message to ODOT about basic human dignity.
Allen says she plans to keep her job, but she wants a formal apology from her bosses.
Well, there is word that the Gap may close several of its clothing stores here in the Big Apple. Crane's New York Business is reporting that 8 of the Gap's 35 stores in Manhattan will shut down within the next year. The Gap apparently denies that number. A weak economy and tough competition from the new H&M stores is being blamed for this. H&M is a Swedish retailer that carries low-priced, trendy clothes.
Dogs on parade, a gardener's paradise, a biker's delight, and sweet sorrow in Coney Island. It's all in a New York Minute. After satisfying sweet tooths on Coney Island Boardwalk for more than 70 years, Phillips Candy Shop is closing its doors for good. It's being demolished to make way for a new subway terminal. The new bike path along the Hudson River is just about finished. The New York Times says it'll open on Tuesday. Bike riders can use it to pedal their way from Battery Park all the way to the GW Bridge. Who says you have to wait for Mayflowers? Spring is already in full bloom at Macy's in Herald Square. Their annual flower show runs through April 21st. And Easter's gone to the dogs in Herald Square. Pets of all shapes and sizes tied on Easter bonnets for a holiday parade. Even some reptiles were showing off their spring fashion sense. Over on the east side, a doggy carnival, where canines got a chance to get in touch with their inner puppy. They had games to play, great food, and of course, lots of love.
This New York Minute is brought to you by General Motors.
Here's something you don't see every day. A woman takes on one very feisty gator. That story is still ahead when the 10 o'clock news continues. Plus, we have this.
I was just energized beyond belief.
Well, some women claim this drink worked wonders for their love life. So what is it and what's in it? You're going to want to know, and we'll tell you next.
In this bottle of Beringer, a 125-year commitment to making great wine. From the only winery ever to win Wine of the Year for both a Cabernet and a Chardonnay. In this glass, the perfect complement to your own special moments.
Mom, remember when you said you were too young to be a grandmother?
Whatever they happen to be. Beringer, all we are in every bottle.
It was one of those days, so I got this. It was normally $200. I paid $100, and then I got the shirt for $20. So I'm thinking, what I saved on the jacket and the shirt practically made money today. TJ Maxx, you should go.
We can't take one step back in the fight against crime, but we need zero tolerance for police abuse. That's why, as mayor, I'll hold police commanders accountable for reducing crime and police misconduct. And I'll take cops from behind their desks and put them on the street. We need better training, screening, and supervision, residency requirements for new cops, and expanded minority recruitment. As mayor, I'll stop profiling, improve police-community relations, and fight to keep crime down.
Alan Hevesy, mayor.
Gotta make it better.
Hey, how does Sam Breakstone make his cottage doubles even better?
Berries! That's it!
Introducing 2 new Breakstone's cottage doubles, blueberry and raspberry.
I'm a genius!
The news brought to you by Isuzu. Go farther.
Gentlemen, the Axiom has a 230 horsepower V6. Our commercial opens in New York City.
I love this town!
Then we go to Sweden to show off our dual mode suspension. For beauty shots, Maui at sunset. So, what do you think?
You wish.
Maui!
How would you like to go out to your car and see something scaly squirming underneath it? That's what happened to a woman in Hillsborough, Florida yesterday, but she knew what to do. She called in this professional gator catcher. She brought in a lasso to grab him. The gator put up quite a fight, but was finally restrained, arms behind his back. And oh yes, here's a tip. If you're ever wrestling an alligator, make sure you tape his jaws together, Cynthia.
I will make a note of that right now. Well, there was a convention in Hartford, Connecticut this weekend dedicated solely to the fine art of flirting. The chairman of the American Singles Group was on hand to share some of the tricks of the trade. So what does he consider the most important part of flirting?
Well, eye contact is very important, and eye contact is just a euphemism. What you have to do is stare at people. You have to stare at them for a minimum of 2 seconds. If you stare at them less than 2 seconds, they're not sure you're interested in them. More than 2 seconds, they call the cops.
Yeah, Harry says you need to show him your credit card. Well, Mr. Goss says when you're flirting with a member of the opposite sex, you're really giving them the important gift of self-esteem.
Okay, well, here's one. There is a new drink now that is supposed to arouse passion in women. It's called Niagara. Yeah, it showed up in a store in Shelton, Washington. The workers there say this is really a hot seller. The makers say that there is an herbal ingredient in this drink that is supposed to increase a woman's libido. Customers say that it makes them get flushed and it fills them with energy.
I'd say, 20 minutes, maybe a half hour after I drank it, I was just energized beyond belief.
Now, if you're planning to drink this so-called love potion, you better talk to your doctor first, because if you are pregnant or nursing, you should not use it. The drink costs about $5 a bottle.
All right.
They didn't have that at the convention in Hartford.
No, and they're not going to have it in the corner, I suspect.
Probably not.
When we come back.
A groom finds an unusual way to get to the church in time for his own wedding. Hillary?
And let's see if spring can make it in time. We do have some warmer weather on the way. The 5-day forecast up. And we're also going to have the Dodge Tri-State forecast up next.
Rain, stop. Traffic, you. CD, play. Climate control on.
The Infinity Q45 with voice-activated controls.
Lights green.
The rest of the world should be so accommodating. The new Q from Infinity.
Monday at 6 a.m. on First Edition, cutting costs and cutting corners. Who's best for the job on home repairs? The fix-it man or the licensed contractor? Details Monday at 6 a.m. on First Edition. Jim?
Then, face your fears.
Oh, I hate crowds.
Manage your fear.
Get tips on Good Day, Monday.
Starting at 6 a.m. on Fox 5.
The date had changed, and now he had to. Fortunately, we were close and ready, which meant he was too.
Click and mortar at the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
You looking at this? You want some? Huh? You want some? Hey, give me some milk, please.
You're looking at this. You want some? Want some?
Got milk.
From the man who gave us the biggest touring spectacle of the last 4 years, Michael Flatley is back. Feet of Clay, starring Michael Flatley. Friday, June 29th at Madison Square Garden. Sunday, July 1st at Continental Airlines Arena. Tickets are on sale Monday.
The news brought to you by Subaru. Experience the peace of mind of Subaru. Full-time all-wheel drive.
We gave it the power of 227 horses. We gave it the control of all-wheel drive. But the spirit of a 3-time World Rally champion, that it had to earn. Meet the turbocharged rally-bred Subaru WRX. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive.
Okay, I want to hear all about this warm weather, so get right to it.
It's going to be warming up. It was really cold today. 40s everywhere. It's hard to believe it was really springtime, but it is springtime, and we'll be bringing you some springtime weather. Just hang on. Let's take a look at today, though, where things were not looking springy. They're still not looking springy. It's kind of misty, kind of cloudy out there. High temperature today, only 44 degrees. That's 15 degrees below normal. 41 your low. We had 0.12 inches of rain, and 90 and 25 are your records. We're currently only 43 degrees, and it's foggy and cloudy out there, 100% relative humidity, and the winds are blowing out of the northeast, 5 miles per hour. I'll tell you what, springtime was not too far away. We're going to start out the weather in Washington, D.C., where they had bright sunshine and 68 degrees in the afternoon. That's where they're celebrating the Cherry Blossom Festival. I actually read some interesting stuff on it today. First Lady Taft was the first one who orchestrated all those cherry blossom trees to be planted in Washington, D.C. She organized 2,000 trees to be brought in from Japan, and ever since then, the Cherry Blossom Festival, it's 2 weeks long, has been a symbol of U.S.-Japanese relations out there, and they did have sunshine today. Thankfully, for the end of that Cherry Blossom Festival, we, on the other hand, were stuck underneath this warm front, and there is a cold front catching up with that, and it's a slow mover. It's going to move through tonight, so you can expect to see a few more splashes of drizzle, unfortunately, as it makes its way through. But clearing is not too far behind. You can see already all the high clouds have moved out. Low clouds still in place. It's hard to pick up the low clouds, though, on the satellite picture. They're there. Look at your window. You'll see them. For Monday, though, we're even going to get rid of most of the low clouds. So you start out on the sunny side. The next storm system does not waste any time making its way in. It's centered way out here in Missouri, but it's going to shoot a few pieces of energy through. And what these pieces of energy are going to do, cloud up our Monday afternoon, unfortunately. And as it does shoot through Monday night on into Tuesday morning, don't be surprised to see some rain showers, moderate rain showers, possibly even a little rumble of thunder. So we're going to start out Tuesday on the rainy, wet side. Give yourself some extra time commuting for your Tuesday morning. And we're going to finally push that guy through Tuesday afternoon. Let's take a quick look at the timing of everything. For tonight, kind of misty, drizzly, patchy, fog, cloudy, you name it, 41 degrees. For tomorrow morning, some sunshine out there. We will see increasing clouds through your afternoon, and for the drive home, get ready to use those umbrellas again. Unfortunately, Tuesday, we're going to call it rainy and cloudy, clearing up towards the end of the day. Wednesday, partly sunny. Thursday and Friday, we bring back those rain showers, but at least we keep it on the warmer side for you guys.
All right, well,
Okay.
Harry said 71.
Oh, no, I did not.
Well, some places will see 71.
70. Okay. Don't get me in
Harry
trouble
said
all
71.
the time. All right. Tommy McDonald waiting in the wings here.
What did you say about 71?
I said it would maybe be 70 tomorrow. I'm not the forecaster.
I hope so, because
it's wishful thinking.
I'll tell you what, I sat outside at the Yankee game today from 1 to 5. When I came back, I was chilled to the bone. So if the Mets open tomorrow with 71-degree weather, bring it on. But today, the top story is hitting the old golf ball. And when you talk golf, you talk the Tiger. The Knicks against the Heat, pushing around. Sports is next, Harry, and I think it's a real good show tonight.
I believe it. Thank you, Tommy.
71 and you.
Always good.
Okay, some brides, well, worry about their groom not showing up to church on time, but no worries for one woman in Louisville, Kentucky. Her groom did get to the church on time. You see, he works for UPS, and so does she. So the groom got a special ride to the church in a UPS truck. There they are walking down the aisle. Well, after the ceremony, they were whisked away. There's the truck. Oh, they were loaded in the back and taken to their reception.
How romantic.
All righty.
See when he jumped out of the truck? The guy said, sign here, please. That's the news for now. I'm Harry Martin.
I'm Cynthia Santana. Have a good night.
Good night.